Gentlemen, what's going on? How are we doing? So I'm traveling currently. I'm in the middle of nowhere in Nicaragua, somewhere where there's not really a lot of power. The power seems to go out every other day. Tonight I'm staying in a place with a generator. The last few nights I was staying in a tent. But I've gotten pretty good at traveling. And I've gotten pretty good at not only maintaining my health while traveling, but continuing to optimize my health while traveling. For context, I was living out of a suitcase for 3 years. When I started creating content, when I started doing all the health stuff, I was living out of a suitcase in Mexico. And up until a year and a half ago, that was my MO. I didn't have a place, I didn't have more than what I could fit into my suitcase. And that lifestyle is incredible. You really do realize that the things you own end up owning you, and there's something special about not being tied to stuff. Now, that being said, just because you have less things doesn't mean that things are still valuable. As a matter of fact, things become more valuable because you have less of them. So I wanted to go through and show you guys some of the things that I bring with me when I'm traveling to maintain consistency with my health, and not just maintain it, but continue to optimize it, right? At the end of the day, that's what I am. I'm an optimizer, and I find traveling to actually be good for my health when done properly. So first and foremost, let's talk about supplements. I could go through the list of supplements that I'm taking, but a lot of it's just contingent on whatever protocol I'm running right now. So right now I'm primarily focusing on rebuilding my systems after pretty bad mold exposure and mold poisoning, chronic inflammatory response syndrome this year. But regardless, I use a little tackle box. And I put all my supplements in here, and it fits everything. And it goes from taking a bunch of bottles and powder tubs to something just like this. And obviously, if you have more supplements, or if you want to take a little bit more because you're having higher volume, I also carry a little bag like this with me. And in here, I have my labeled Piddle, and that's actually a bioregulator. But I have my labeled supplements in here as well, the ones I may take with less frequency. When it comes to supplements, like I said, you really should just bring whichever ones you're currently doing in your protocol. One I will really recommend is binders. So I use Interos Gel, which is a Soviet-era silica-based binder. It is incredible at binding up toxins, especially acute toxin exposure. They actually use this in Chernobyl. They really liked it. But it's incredible for any type of foodborne illness or waterborne illness, which is very common when you're going into underdeveloped regions. So this is Interos Gel. You can actually get it on Amazon. And then Old Faithful activated charcoal. This is Takasumi activated charcoal. It's my personal favorite because it's Japanese, and the Japanese do everything better, especially when it comes to supplements. It's from Takasumi bamboo. So, that's the primary one. Other ones that I really keep with me is L-theanine. I use L-theanine just if I get overstimulated. And then, of course, probably the most important supplement to bring, which is somewhere here. It's an absolute mess, but it's magnesium. I think that traveling does deplete your magnesium, because anything stressful depletes your magnesium. So I load up on the magnesium, I double down on the magnesium when I'm traveling, and then some form of trace minerals as well, just to cover my bases. Here, this is boron. I would say glycine as well, and taurine. Those are two other compounds that I find pretty fundamental